Welcome back to Historical Quarrels. This week we're going over the full fight between Hooke and Newton. Get ready for some slanderous, maybe a little bit of cousin fucking fun on this week's episode of Historical Quarrels. Alright, welcome back, guys. This week's Historical Quarrels, we're continuing where we left off. I'm back here with Haley.
Hello.
She says hi. So, I hope you guys are ready for some fun. Quick announcement. I will be upgrading the sound quality here in 2 weeks. So, maybe not the War of the Roses, but for the Hatfields and McCoys episode. Which that's going to be pretty wild. So, get ready for that. It's going to be lots of fun. We're going to have a great time today. And let's go ahead and get back into all of this craziness with two mad scientists.
Alright, ready. Alright, everyone. Sit down! Shut the fuck up!
Alright, now we're back into the last bit of this letter. As Newton was explaining the length of the colored spectrum for light, and this is how he figured out, light was particles and you can break it down and then rebuild it back up into a beam. So
Yeah.
Okay, he was saying, comparing the length of this colored spectrum with its breadth, I found about 5 times greater, a disproportion so extravagant that it excited me to a more than ordinary curiosity of examining. From whence it might proceed, I could scarce think that the various thickness of the glass, or the termination with shadow and darkness, could have any influence on light to produce such an effect. Yet I thought it not amiss first to examine those circumstances, and so tried what would happen by transmitting the light through parts of the glass's diverse thicknesses, or through holes in the window of diverse bignesses. He said bignesses.
I'm curious on what everybody thought when he said bignesses.
I bet you that that was a common term. English fucking sucked back in the day. I mean, it sucks still.
I was going to say, it still sucks now.
Yeah. Bignesses.
Could you imagine if that was like a hip term back then?
Bignesses?
Yeah, kind of like dope or no cap.
Yo, dog, this is some straight bigness. Oh, that's hilarious.
That would be so funny.
Oh, dude, that I'm just gonna imagine that it is, and that's why you
Make
put
t-shirts.
Bignesses.
Bignesses.
Just black t-shirt, white lettering. Oh, I could see it. That'll sell like hotcakes. That'll be great. He continues by saying, or by setting the prism without so, that the light might pass through it, and be refracted before it was terminated by the hole. But I found none of those circumstances material. The fashion of the colors was in all these cases the same. He continues on, then I suspected, whether by any unevenness in the glass or other contingent irregularity, these colors might be thus dilated. And to try this, I took another prism like the former, and so placed it that the light passing through them both might be refracted contrary ways. So he refracted it, then he's unrefracting it, or he's refracting it slightly differently.
What a process.
Right?
What a process, man. What a dedication, for that.
I think you have to be a little fucking crazy if you're doing this shit. Right?
Well, could you imagine? He's like, what if I refracted it and then unrefracted it and then refracted it again? And everyone's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, it's either that or they're like, why?
Yeah, why?
Okay.
Wouldn't that just do the same thing?
Yeah. I don't know. He was that, and he was like, no, but I'm looking for something specific, and because he's a mad genius and fucking crazy. So, yeah. So he goes on talking about how For this means I thought the regular effects of the first prism would be destroyed by the second prism, but the irregular ones more augmented by the multiplicity of refractions. The event was that the light, which by the first prism was diffused into an oblong form, was by the second reduced into an orbicular one with as much regularity as when it did not at all pass through them, so that whatever was the cause of that length, 'twas not any contingent irregularity. But yeah, so he's just turning, he's observing that the light patterns are going from this oblong shape back into like an orbital shape, like a circular one, and then he can turn it back and forth, and he's confused because everything known about light shouldn't be doing this at this point.
Could you imagine seeing that for the first time?
No. I there's a lot of things I've seen, especially, out in Texas. I saw like a cat try to fuck a dog once.
Jesus.
That was weird. Yeah, that was weird. So
I don't know.
I can't compare between that.
That's fair. No, like, actually seeing it for the first time must have been wild.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they didn't call that witchcraft.
Yeah.
Is it because he was so well known that it was like, he's just a mad, crazy guy that can just make things happen?
Well, at this point, science is getting...
Or because he wasn't a female. That's sexist.
That's actually crazy, because, like, Newton would agree with you there. He actually supports his niece, and he thinks, like, anybody can be smart. And so, like, he wanted his niece to succeed. Yeah, no, he's actually, like, he's pretty good with...
So he saw the difference and was like, wow, this is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was actually the case, like, if it was, like, because he was a male, and men can't be witches.
That definitely helped.
Like, quote unquote.
Warlocks were still a thing, but like it definitely helped.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if a woman did that, they'd be like, "Witch, you're a fucking witch. We're burning you at the stake."
Yes, I like to think that at the time, this part of the world, because that's more Protestants were doing that, especially in America. So, in England though, they had a lot more of a respect for the sciences during this period. And so I will definitely say women were definitely discluded quite a bit still, which is awful. They weren't as murdered, which is a plus. They may have just had their work stolen from them more constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it still changes the world. Like,
it does.
It's still a good thing, but it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Actually, no, that's something that I've been meaning to look at too, like rivals between like girls in the history and like, their male counterparts that were trying to like do them in or unfortunately do them in. I think that'd be kind of interesting for this too.
Yeah,
because there's a huge amount of women that just were super intelligent but then get fucked over because they have tits.
Yeah.
That's really it.
No.
So
that would be cool to see though. That'd be really fun to hear.
Yeah, no, I think after I do Hatfields and McCoys, I'm gonna write out up to episode 50, and then maybe you guys go ahead and like and share this podcast. And you guys start like joining in on things. We can start, getting new subjects and stuff to add on that's voted by you guys. Patreon. Anyways, Newton continues on saying, having made these observations, I first computed from the refractive power of that glass and found it measured by the ratio of the signs, 20 to 31, and then by that ratio I computed the refractions of two rays flowing from opposite parts of the sun's discus so as to differ 31 degrees in their obliquity of incidence, and found that the emergent rays should have comprehended an angle of about 31 degrees, as they did before they were incident. I know that was like nonsense. Like, for math people, you probably understood that a little better. For me, I had to Google most of that shit up. So he was measuring the angles and like the oblong length of the like light waves.
Yeah.
So he's like, this isn't adding up, or it is adding up because of this. So
That's crazy.
yeah, so
Oh my gosh.
yeah, he does this, and honestly, reading his math stuff just reminds me of like crazy people I'd meet all the time back in Texas. Wackos with the most random ass theories and ideas. I had a guy tell me that the number 62 was the answer to every question I could ask because it was the best number, and that if I didn't believe him, he was gonna bite off my nose. So yeah,
I'm curious on how many noses he bit off.
I was, but at the same time, I just went ahead and said, like, yeah, I get it. 62 is the only answer. Please stop talking to me. I'm so scared. So,
Tyler's like, don't ever talk to me again, but good luck.
yeah. I ended up running away from him. Just wanted to keep my nose. I have a ton of,
What the fuck?
I have so many more stories from Houston. Like, I met so many wackos, just absolute crazy, like batshit crazy people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe I'll talk about that more. Again, more reason to like and share the podcast with other people, so that way you can continue to hear stories of my adventures in Houston.
Fucking Houston.
Dude, I was there when Harvey hit too, so like I got to really meet like all the crazy people.
You got it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was fun, and I was there for religious reasons, and I no longer affiliate with that religion. Sorry, friends, if that's the first time you're hearing me say that. The tattoo should have been a giveaway, though. So,
I don't know. I don't blame you, but
Yeah.
that's just my opinion.
yeah, no, I have a few friends that I don't know if they do listen to this, but if they do and they hear that, they might be like, Tyler, why?
Tyler.
no.
Tyler, no.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. At least we'll be in hell together.
True. It'll be lit. Dude, it'll be a party.
We'll be best friends with Satan. We'll be partying with him.
Dude, I feel like you'd be such a bro, though. Like,
Yeah, right?
totally. He'd be like, yeah, guys, I get it. I fucking hated following the rules.
He's like, glass of wine, though?
Yeah, you want a drink? Get cozy. It's gonna be here for a while.
There's swimming suits in the back if it gets too hot.
Yeah. There's a nice little pool, jacuzzi. Yeah, the jacuzzi's warm. It's extra warm, but. Oh God. Okay. So Newton goes on saying, then I began to suspect whether the rays and their trajectory through the prism did not move in curved lines, and according to their more or less curvity. Again, more weird ass English words that they used back then. Tended to diverge parts of the wall. And it increased my suspicion when I remembered that I had seen a tennis ball struck with an oblique racket describe such a curved line. For a circular, as well as a progressive motion being communicated to it by that stroke, as its parts on that side, where the motions conspire, must press and beat the contiguous air more violently than on the other, and there excite a reluctancy and reaction of the air proportionally greater. As for the same reason, if the rays of light should possibly be globular bodies, and by their oblique passage out of one medium into another acquire a circulating motion, they ought to feel the greater resistance from the ambient ether. They had this whole thing with ether. It's weird. Anyways, on that side, where the motions conspire, and thence be continually bowed to the other, and notwithstanding the plausible ground of suspicion when I came to examine it, I could observe no such curvity in them. And besides, which was enough for my purpose, I observed that the difference twixt the length of the image and diameter of the hole through which the light was transmitted was proportionable to their distance. Also, I like how he's like, which was enough for my purpose. It's like, I fucking saw it, so, like...
It's true and
Yeah.
100% accurate.
I fucking did it, and I know what I'm doing. So...
What a cocky guy.
Dude, all
What a
these scientists...
confident guy, too.
So cocky.
I'm telling you, if I had his confidence, man, the world cannot stop me with anything I wanted to do.
Honestly, though, like, these guys, they just... I feel like if we ever met them, they would reek arrogance, mainly.
Oh, yeah.
They would be mainly arrogant fucking assholes. That's how they read in some of the responses back to each other. And that's also why I went ahead and just modernized some of their responses, because I was like, you guys just come off as pricks here, and modernizing this just really, that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to like disprove anything. You were trying to say this.
Yeah.
And you're being a dick. So, anyways, the gradual removal of these suspicions at length led me to the experimentum crucis, which was this. I took 2 boards, placed one of them close behind the prism at the window so that the light might pass through a small hole made in it for the purpose, and fall on the other board, which I placed about 12 feet distance, having first made a small hole in it also for some light of that incident light to pass through. Then I placed another prism behind the second board so that the light trajected through the boards might pass through that also, and be again refracted before it arrived at the wall. This done, I took the first prism in my hand, turned it to and fro slowly about its axis, so much as to make the several parts of the image cast on the second board, and successfully pass through the hole in it, that I might observe to what places on the wall the second prism would refract them. And I saw by the variation of those places that the light tending to that end of the image towards which the refraction of the first prism was made, did in the second prism suffer a refraction considerably greater than the light tending to the other end. And so the true cause of length of that image was detected to be no other than the light that consists of rays differently refrangible, which, without any respect to a difference in their incidence, I really hope I'm saying that all right. I just realized, like, man, did I, like, fuck that whole thing up?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of fucking work.
It was...
Can I just say that?
Yeah.
First of all, what a cool-ass job that he's doing.
Yes. I should probably move my phone. That's probably gonna, like... Yeah. Okay. So, no, he's doing a ton. He's doing a lot here. He's... Like, his method of experimentation with this was pretty thorough, to be honest.
Did he, like... Do you think he just, like, imagine him sitting down and he's like, okay, I have to do this, and then I have to turn it this way.
Yeah.
Or do you think he set it up and was just like, what if I just put this right here and hope for the best?
This man was about 5 steps away from inventing a camera and capturing light. I shit you not.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, huh? So
5 steps away?
Essentially. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot more that goes into it, but, like, he figured out that we can diffract and get different colors, and so...
Could you imagine that if he invented the camera earlier?
Dude, he was pretty close. Like, honestly, like, if he had continued and then, like, figured out how to imprint the image, he would have then figured out, like, oh, maybe I can do this by, like, absorbing the light in the area and have that shadow get refracted onto this piece of paper. Yeah. That fucking close.
That's insane.
I know, right?
That is insane. Could you imagine being 5 steps away from inventing the camera?
Yeah, no, his study of, like, optics and light is honestly, like, why we have TVs today and shit and, like, cameras, so.
Thank you, Newton.
Right.
Sir Newton, for my TV.
Yes. God Newton.
God Newton.
He's Jesus,
yeah.
remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, I forgot. He's the brother of Jesus.
The brother of Jesus and Kevin Bacon. He's currently Kevin Bacon, so.
Oh, yeah, he is Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Throwback from last week, guys. If you haven't heard, you should probably go listen to last week's episode, too. So,
yeah, Newton's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. He had a rough childhood. It was really rough. Anyways, Newton continues saying, I shall now proceed to acquaint you with another more notably deformity in its rays, wherein the origin of colors is unfolded, concerning which I shall lay down the doctrine first, and then for its examination give you an instance or two of the experiments as a specimen of the rest. Newton proceeds to give an accounting of 13 reasons why he's correct, essentially, restating his reasons and trying to cement it as a fact.
This is my 13th reason.
Well, like, yeah, he gave 13 doctrinal answers. He described it as being doctrine. So, like, this is it. This is God's word on the subject.
That reminds me, have you seen that TikTok where the guy is holding sheets of ice? And he's like, these are the 15 1/4 falls and breaks, and he goes, "These are the 10 Commandments."
Yeah, that's from a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I love that.
Could you imagine if he had like 20 of them and he just like
lost 7? The light rays burnt off the other side. Shit.
Yeah, he was like, "Well, I guess there's 13 now."
Yeah, and it's 13. So, but yeah, so I'm not going to read all that portion. If you guys want to look up his 13 reasons why, again, go to the Newton Project. So www.newtonproject.ox.ac.uk, and you can go look it up there. Because I ain't gonna do it. There's a lot of reading.
That's too much.
I couldn't make jokes. I tried to make jokes for it, and I was like, shit, this is all just like math. It's really hard just to like make jokes about numbers. So, like, could have like thrown in a couple of like, haha, 8008 135 and boobies. So like that was about it. That was like literally my thought process with that. So he finishes his letter saying, "Reviewing what I have written, I see the discourse itself will lead to diverse experiments sufficient for its examination, and therefore I shall not trouble you further than describe one of those, which I have already insinuated. In a darkened room, make a hole in the shunt of a window whose diameter may conveniently be about a third part of an inch, to admit a convenient quantity of the sun's light, and there place a clear and colorless prism to refract the entering light towards the further part of the room, which, as I said, will thereby be diffused into an oblong colored image. Then place a lens of about 3 foot radius, suppose a broad object glass of a 3 foot telescope, at the distance of about 4 or 5 foot from thence, through which all those colors may at once be transmitted and made by its refraction to convene at a further distance of about 10 or 12 feet. If at that distance you intercept this light with a sheet of white paper, you will see the colors converted into whiteness again by being mingled. But it is requisite that the prism and the lens be placed steady, and that the paper on which the colors are cast be moved to and fro, for by such motion you will not only find at what distance the whiteness is most perfect, but also see how the colors gradually convene and vanish into whiteness, and afterwards, having crossed one another in that place where they compound whiteness, are again dissipated and severed, and in an inverted order retain the same colors which they had before they entered the composition." I know what I'm saying, drones. But if you want to test out Newton's theory of light, you can actually do it at home. So you get a sheet, you turn off everything, all the other lights, make sure there's no other fucking light. You have like a little ray of light come in, you get a piece of paper, you get a prism, like a glass prism, and you refract the light. And then you can go measure it yourself. That's essentially what he's saying.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking wild. So yeah, he broke it down. Oh god. Yeah, no, he keeps going. He's like, if you proceed further to try the possibility of changing any uncompounded color, God,
Could you imagine if there was a shortage of prisms because everyone in that time was trying it at home?
A lot of people did. A lot of fucking people did.
They're like, you're like going trying to find a prism for like schoolwork or something, and they're like, sorry, we're fresh out. You have to wait till the next shipment, which is in a month. And they're like, but I need it now. And I was like, sorry, Newton released this at-home test.
So we're COVID test. For light.
Sorry, but sorry.
Yeah, no, honestly, sorry guys. We're out, man. If you want one, it's gonna cost you like 800 pounds instead of like the 2. That's what's been happening like nowadays with a lot of shit though. It's like everything just gets bought up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what if it happened then? Like, they're like, wow, I can do science at home.
I know it did.
Was there a shortage of prisms?
Yeah. Was there a short? All right, guys, we're diverting for a second. So, prisms in the 1670s because of Newton.
wait for it to say yes.
Let's see. Newton appears to have purchased all his prisms there. Oh, okay, there's no information how many was made. Okay, we don't know. We don't know.
I'm going to assume yes.
Okay. Yeah, because no one can tell you yes or no, it's always yes. You know. That is what I do with the...
Life lesson.
Yeah. That's, you know, again, we have no idea if Newton invented the song and the dance for Never from Footloose. But again, no one can tell me yes, and no one can tell me no, so the answer is fucking yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did it. He also did this, where he was talking about, "'Tis requisite that the room be made very dark, lest any scattering light mixing with the color disturb and ally it, and render it compound contrary to the design of the experiment." So this is also where like cameras will realize like you have to have like this dark little photo box, and so they have like those like yeah. So this is part of it, because other light will interfere with, you know, absorbing onto the paper that they used. So again, super close to inventing cameras. I think that's just fucking wild to me. I can't get over it. But he is like, "This I conceive is enough for an introduction to experiments of this kind, which if any of the Royal Society shall be so curious to prosecute, I should be very glad to be informed with what success," key word, success, "that if anything seems to be defective or to thwart this relation, I may have an opportunity of giving further direction about it, or of acknowledging my errors if I have committed any." So he's trying to say, like, I'm going to be very happy if you tell me it works, but I'm going to go ahead and correct any wrongs that I probably didn't do.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's, again, he's very, very prideful.
I'm still thinking about the camera. Could you imagine if he actually invented it, but he's like, "No, I'm just going to burn this book that, you know, I created the camera, and we're just going to let somebody else do it."
Dude, right? That'd be fucking wild.
Like, he was just like, he's like, "Nah, I've done too much in this lifetime already. Let's have somebody else figure it out."
Yeah, I could see that. It's like Da Vinci. Da Vinci had so many things that... I feel like the man had ADHD, to be honest. Because he was just constantly coming up with all these, like, new ideas, and he just left a lot of shit unfinished.
He had, like, 80 things unfinished but started, and somebody's like, "You know what? I'm going to take this, Da Vinci, and I'll finish it."
Yeah. No, that's essentially what happened with a lot of his shit. But then a lot of stuff got lost for a long time. Oh, gosh. Yeah, if people had, like, especially during this era, if they had, like, Da Vinci's notes and could read and understand it, oh, man, I think we'd be, like, 200 years ahead in technology, to be honest.
We'd finally get our skateboards from Back to the Future?
Yeah, no, we would have hoverboards. We would have fucking... We have jetpacks, and they look cool, but they're not, like... jetpacks, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta put your hands down, which makes sense to have like stabilized flight.
It's like Iron Man style.
Yeah,
basically,
again,
which is kind of cool though.
It makes more sense because that's how like aerodynamics work, and that's how like flight works. So it just you kind of wish that you just could use just the backpack.
I don't know. I still really want that hoverboard.
The hoverboard would be fucking awesome.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Do you know how many rocks you could skip over without hitting that and falling over?
Oh, it'd be so nice.
Rocks are invisible now.
Skating.
You never have to worry about wheels and what terrain you're rolling over.
It would just be a balance thing.
Yeah.
For people. That's all it would be. So and you can get over that pretty quick. Learning how to ride a bike is not that hard, so same thing with skateboard.
I know. I'm still waiting for it.
Yep.
They promised us, what was it, 2020?
Yeah, so 2 years ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're a little behind on the deadline there. But yeah, so far this learned and very ingenious letter, which having been by that illustrious company, before whom it was read, with much applause committed to the consideration of some of their fellows well versed in this argument, the reader may possibly in another tract be informed of some report given in upon this discourse. He essentially invited the Royal Society to test out his theory, and was so sure he had hit the big time and wouldn't be disagreed with. But oh boy, he was so wrong. He was in for the talk down of his life by Hooke. Like, dude, Hooke goes in. He's like, so this is why you're wrong, you dumb motherfucker.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah. It's kind of boring. Not gonna lie. Some parts are like, but like.
He really digs in. It like Hooke's ego takes over, and he's like, you know what, Newton, you're a fucking dumbass.
Yes.
Here's why.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Hooke's paper was as follows. I have pursued the discourse of Mr. Newton about colors and refractions, and I was not a little pleased with the niceness and curiosity of his observations. Not a little pleased at all. That's how he opens his letter.
I'm going to start saying that.
I was not a little pleased.
Yeah, I was not a little pleased.
So funny. I get a text message. I was not a little pleased by you using the spider dragon for D&D. I'm so excited to use that, by the way. Hey guys, also, a little quick break here. Maybe I could record a D&D session or two.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Dude, I saw that spider freaking dragon on Facebook, and I was like, I have to send this to Tyler.
Yeah.
And then you freaking texted me, and he's like, may or may not be using that for D&D, and I was like, fuck.
I sent you the actual, character sheet.
I thought it was made up because you know how there's, 5-year-old. A spider dragon.
Yeah.
Like, what's a spider dragon? They explain it, and then he's like, also, it breathes spiders. And then, I can't believe that's real.
Yeah. No, I'm also making an ancient version of it, so... yeah, we'll get it. Anyway, Hooke continues saying, but though I wholly agree with him as to the truth he hath alleged, as having, by many hundreds of trials, found them so, yet as to his hypothesis of solving the phenomena of colours thereby, I confess I cannot see yet any undeniable argument to convince me of the certainty thereof. Again, every time
Honestly,
I read it.
This is perfect.
Yeah. For all the experiments and observations I have hitherto made, nay, and even those very experiments which he hath alleged do seem to me to prove that white is nothing but a pulse of motion, propagated through a homogeneous, uniform, and transparent medium, and that colour is nothing but the disturbance of that light, by the communication of that pulse to other transparent mediums, that is, by the refraction thereof.
Damn.
He's like, the worst part is, I feel like they're all essentially talking about the same shit.
No, but for real though. He literally read Newton's letter and he's like, you're wrong. And then basically says the same exact thing when Newton
says it proves this other thing.
Yeah.
So that's all
What
he does.
the fuck?
Again, two things can be right. No one realized that back then.
I'm curious if they ever talk shit behind each other's back.
Oh, 100%. No, they did.
Like they're in their chambers and they're like, God,
no, I have
Newton,
letters between Hooke and other people, and then Newton and other people talking shit on each other.
Really?
Yeah, there's letters on that.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Pepsi Cola, not sponsored. Okay. That whiteness and blackness are nothing but the plenty or scarcity of the undisturbed rays of light, and that the two colours, than the which they are not more uncompounded in nature, are nothing but the effects of a compounded pulse, or disturbed propagation of a motion caused by refraction. But how certain I soever think myself of my hypothesis, which I did not take up without first trying some hundreds of experiments, by the way.
Not like Newton did hundreds of experiments.
Exactly, yeah!
He's like, I did hundreds of experiments, Newton, so suck it. And Newton's over there doing one in the midst, what are you talking about?
Same, dude. Asshole. He's like, I did it too.
He's like, I've done hundreds more than you have. And Newton's on his 1,000th one. He's like, what? What?
Fucking prove it by math, Hooke. That'd be Hooke's weakness. Yet I should be very glad to meet with one experimentum crucis from Mr. Newton that should divorce me from it. But it is not that which he so calls, will do the turn. For the same phenomenon, which will be solved by my hypothesis as well by his, without any manner of difficulty or straining. Nay, I will undertake to shew another hypothesis differing from both his and mine that shall do the same thing. So
Jesus Christ.
he's like, I'm going to show you how mine proves that I'm right, and his also proves that I'm right.
They're literally doing the same thing.
It's
like legit the exact same thing, except for he just has a different viewpoint on it.
Mm-hmm. So Hooke, will come to find out, is right about light waves, and then Newton is also correct about particles.
Yeah.
So
they just can't come to agree that they're both right.
Yeah.
What the?
The other one has to be dumber than the other.
Because of their ego?
Yes.
Their ego is so big.
Their ego is that fucking big.
Oh my god.
Newton legit thinks he's the chosen one. So, I mean, he was so smart.
No, but for real, he was smart.
But probably not the chosen one. Otherwise, he would have cured cancer too. So, you know, fuck
Do you hear that, Newton? Or
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Kevin Bacon. Okay. He continues saying, so at first, this response seems to hurt. Oh, wait, yeah. So at first, this. That wasn't me writing. I mean, that wasn't me.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, this was me talking out loud. I was like, oh, no. So at first, the response seemed to have Hooke agreeing with Newton about his theory. I mean, Hooke still had to try and take credit for this theory himself by saying he's been experimenting with it as well and shit. Like, he's like, I've already done it. Kind of like the guy all of us knows that just can't say, hey, you did a good job with this. But this guy always has to add in that they did it or they know someone who's done it better. Fucking assholes. I can name a couple guys that are like that.
Newton kind of reminds me of Ariana Grande.
What?
This is why I say that. He's like, thank you, next. Thank you, next.
Oh, okay. That's good. Oh, man, yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. But yeah, Hooke continues saying, that the ray of light it's gonna be so annoying to some people. Some people are like, I fucking hate this voice. 1 out of 5 stars, you asshole.
Oh god.
As it was split by refraction, no said, and that thereby a differing pulse is propagated, both on their sides, and all the middle parts of the ray, is easy to be conceived, and also, that differing pulses of compound motions should make differing impressions on the eye, brain, or sense, is also easy to be conceived, and that whatever fucking medium does it can reduce.
I read refracting as fuck. That's so much better. Sorry.
To its primitive simple motion by destroying the adventurous, does likewise to restore it to its primitive witness and simplicity, or whiteness and simplicity.
Oh my gosh. You know what I kind of see it as?
What?
I feel like Hooke kind of started it first. This is why I say it. Because Newton was being somewhat nice. You know, he's like, no, this is what I did. This is how I did it, and this is why I think it's wrong. And then Hooke was like, you know what? Fuck you. You're wrong. This is how it is.
Yeah, so I remember him and Christian Huyes, the French guy, they already have this wave theory of light going.
Yeah.
And they've had it for a while. And so Newton is basically saying that wave theory of light is actually wrong because, you know, these oblong shapes are forming.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be happening. It should be circular, like you guys have been saying.
Yeah.
And so Hooke is like, nah, fuck you.
Well, it just seems like Hooke never actually reads anything, you know?
Yeah, that actually does come across quite, like, honestly, he doesn't.
He just, like, looks at it and he's like, a letter from Newton, chucks it and be like, Newton, you know what? This, and this, you're wrong. You're doing it wrong. Your theory is wrong. Like, he doesn't read them.
They do start doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I can't
good job.
imagine.
Yeah.
But, like, it seems like he just never read it. You know? Like, he, like, skimmed over it and was like, oh, okay, I got the basics, chuck it.
It comes off like that, yes. Because Newton, in his response to this response, was like, so if you fucking read my letter...
Really?
Essentially, yeah.
That's funny.
Anyways, Hooke goes on saying, I hope you guys love this Hooke voice. I do.
I'm enjoying it.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
But why there's a necessity for all these emotions, or whatever else it be, that makes colors should be originally in the simple rays of light. I do not yet understand the necessity of, no more than that all those sounds must be in the air of the bellows, which are afterwards heard to be issued from the organ pipes or in the string, which are afterwards by different stoppings and strikings produced. Which string, by the way, is a pretty representation of the shape of a refracted ray to the eye. Because the string is a wave of light.
Yeah. Could you imagine if he wrote it like, and each string of light caresses your eyeball as it enters your eye.
Yes, because it's a wave of light, Newton, you fucking retard.
He probably did use the R word, because, again, back in the day, they were assholes, so...
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. As far as we are in, like, it would not surprise me whatsoever.
Honestly, there's some shit that gets said, like, in the actual letters, some of the modern English translation, honestly, not that far off.
That's...
Right?
That's kind of dope.
Right?
And the manner of it may be somewhat imagined by the similitude thereof. For the ray is like the string, strained between the luminous object of the eye, and the stop or fingers is like the refracting surface, on the one side of which the string hath no motion, on the other a vibrating one. Now we may say indeed, and imagine, that the rest of the straightness of the string is caused by the cessation of motions, or correlation of all vibrations.
Sorry, I'm getting way into it.
Keep going.
And all of the vibrations are dormant in it. But yet it seems more natural to me to imagine it the other way. And I am a little troubled that this suspicion should make Mr. Newton wholly lay aside the thoughts of improving telescopes and microscopes by refractions, since it is not improbable, but that he that hath made so very good an improvement of telescopes by his own trials upon reflection, would, if he had prosecuted it, have done more by refraction. And that reflection is not the only way of improving telescopes, by the way. I may possibly hereafter shew some proof of. I'm gonna show you how I fucking did it, you bitch.
What, it's gonna be the same way that Newton did it?
Dude, like, essentially.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
The truth is that the difficulty of removing that inconvenience of splitting the ray and consequently of the effect of colors is very great, but yet not inseparable. I have made many trials, both for telescopes and microscopes, by reflection, which I have mentioned in my Micrographia, the book I wrote.
Oh my god.
I hope you guys remember that I wrote that book, by the way.
Oh my god.
This bitch literally plugged his own shit in this response letter. This would be like if in our previous scenario, the said asshole not only did it better, but then like told you to buy their shit while talking down to you. Like, could you imagine the asshole's like, yeah, so instead of saying good job, they're like, yeah, but I already did it. Like, you're not that special. Anyways, buy my shit.
Oh yeah, here's a book signed by me on how I did it.
Yeah, here you go. It proves you wrong.
Man, the more we go through this, like, I am 100% like Newton and freaking fuck Hooke.
See, I feel the same, but I feel like Newton goes like a little overboard.
Really? I just gotta wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
Newton starts to go crazy too. Which is so sad.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, obviously Hooke is starting it though.
Yes and no. Like, he's essentially trying to be like, Newton, you're wrong, and I already did this, so I don't know why you're fucking trying. So it's like, anyways, but yeah, I do get why this pisses Newton off so much. It's like a huge talk down. Anyways, he continues on saying,
but deserted it as to telescopes. Excuse me. When I consider that the focus of the circle concave is not a point but a line, and that the rays are less true reflected to a point by a concave than refracted by a convex, which made me think that by refraction, which I found could not be rationally be expected by reflection, nor indeed could I find any effect of it by 1 6-foot radius, like you were trying to say, you bitch. Which, about 8 years since, Mr. Reeve made for Mr. Gregory. Again, 2 people in the Royal Society. So, with which I made several trials. But it now appears it was for want of a good career, from which cause may any good experience have been lost. Both which considerations discouraged me from attempting further that way, especially since I found the parabola that much more difficult to describe than the hyperbola or ellipsis, and I was wholly taken from the thorns of it by lighting on diverse ways, which in theory answered all I could wish for, though having much more business, I could not attend to bring them into use for telescopes, though for microscopes I have a good while used it. Thus, much as the preamble, I shall now consider the propositions themselves. First, then, Mr. Newton alleges that as rays of light differ in refrangibility, so they differ in their disposition to exhibit this or that color, with which I do in the main agree. That is, that the ray by refraction, as it were, split or rarefied, and that one side, namely that which is most refracted, gives a blue, and that which is least a red. Actually, so Hooke is right here. So Hooke is correct. So on the most refracted ends of like light spectrum, you have red and blue on opposite ends.
Yeah.
So yes. Asshole, but yes.
Wait, he said it.
Yeah, very dickish. Like, does it not come off as the most like pompous ass thing you've ever heard?
No, it definitely does. Like, I imagine. Have you ever seen Bridgerton?
No. Don, you watch that? Is it good?
It's really good. It might be a little girly,
I don't care.
but I think it's good.
Okay.
But it reminds me of this because there's some things that like, there's like some quarrels, and it reminds me of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They just talk down to each other?
Yeah, they just talk down to each other, like, but it's not through letters, you know, it's more in front of their face.
Yeah.
But it still reminds me of it. You know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, man. Yeah, no, it's so weird. Like, just...
He really found the one thing that Newton didn't figure it out and, like, boosted that so much. He put all of his ego into that.
The rest of this letter, essentially, is, like, him being like, hey, so this is wrong and this is wrong. But, like, it all goes back to this one point.
Yeah.
So, he does continue saying,
The intermediate are the dilutings of and intermixtures of those two, which I thus explain. The motion of light in a uniform medium, when which is generated, is propagated by simple uniform pulses or waves, which at right angles with the line of direction, but falling obliquely on the refracting medium, it receives another impression of motion, which disturbs the former motion, somewhat like the vibration of a string, and that which was before a line now becomes a triangular superficies, in which the pulse is not propagated at right angles with its line of direction, but askew. It goes askew. Newton. As I have more at large explained in my micrographia.
Oh my gosh.
he's up like again.
Yeah. Could you imagine if, like, at the bottom of his letter, there's, like, a little stick figure flexing, like...
Fuck you, Newton.
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you this is not the last time he self-flex?
Yeah. Yeah, I would believe you.
Yeah, no, it's...
Except for the next one, it has 2 flexing stick figures,
just
you
like
know?
an extra one.
Yeah. Each time it happens, he has more flexing stick figures.
Eventually the letter just becomes...
Stick figures.
and flexing. Hooke goes on saying,
And that which makes excursions on the one side Oh, but I had drank a lot of wine. Impresses a compound emotion on the bottom of the eye, of which we have the imagination of red, and that which makes excursions on the other causes a sensation which we imagine a blue, and so are the intermediate dilutings of those colors. Now, the intermediate are nothing but dilutings of those two primary. I hope I have sufficiently proved by the experiment of the two wedge-like boxes described in my micrographia.
Two stick figures. Bye-bye.
3 fucking times. Like, we're so close to each other too.
Holding a hand weight this time.
Yeah. It's like his foot's on Newton.
Yeah, his foot's on Newton while he's like holding his weight, flexing.
Oh man, no, Hooke was a shameless bitch.
Yeah, I freaking can tell.
It was like not even a paragraph later, he fucking does it again.
Says it again. I'm telling you.
Crazy. Anyways, Hooke goes on.
Upon this account, I cannot assent to the latter part of the proposition that colors are not qualifications of light, derived from refractions, or reflections of natural bodies, but original and connate properties. The second proposition I wholly allow, not exactly in the sense they're meant with my manner of expressing it, that is, the part of the split ray. Not what Newton was saying. Newton was fucking wrong. Which is most bent exhibits a blue. That which is at least a red, and the middle parts mildly in colours. And that those parts will always exhibit those colours till the compound motions are destroyed, and reduced by other motions to one simple uniform pulse as was at the first. This will easily explain and give a reason of the phenomena of the third proposition, to which I do readily assent in all cases. It's just so fucking wrong. I don't even know how the third one we even care about. Okay, fuck that shit. That's essentially what he says. But as to the fifth, that there are an indefinite variety of primary original colors, amongst which are yellow, green, violet, purple, orange, and an infinite number of intermediate gradations.
So he actually did come up with gradations, color. Like, he doesn't come up with it, but like, you know,
he finds them.
He talks about it in like how you can essentially just go on forever with the gradients of color. So
that's kind of dope.
Yeah, you know, it's like, again, he's right, but he's an asshole. So,
I cannot assent thereunto as opposing it wholly useless to multiply entities without necessity, since I have elsewhere shown that all varieties of colors of the world may be made of two.
Which he was wrong. It was RGB scales, motherfucker.
Loser.
Yeah, suck it, Hooke. We've got modern technology. And it's because of you, but... and Newton. But yeah, he keeps going on talking. He talks mad shit, essentially, for the rest of this. But my favorite part is him talking about, right here,
I agree that with the observations of the 9th, 10th, and 11th, though not with his theory, as finding it absolutely necessary, being as easily naturally explained and solved by my hypothesis. My hypothesis can explain all of it. The reason of the phenomenon of my experiments, which he alleged, is as easily solvable by my hypothesis as by his, as are also those which are mentioned in the 13th. I do not, therefore, see any absolute necessity to believe his theory demonstrated, since I can assure Mr. Newton I cannot only solve all the phenomena of light and colors by the hypothesis I have formerly printed, and now explicate them by, but by 2 or 3 other very differing from it. And from this, which he hath described in his ingenious discourse, so smart, but like not smart as me, so...
That's what it comes off of.
Yeah.
Such a dick!
Nor would I have understood it to have said all this against his theory, as it is an hypothesis, for I do most readily agree with them in every part thereof, and esteem it very subtle and ingenious, and capable of solving all the phenomena of the colours. But I cannot think it to be the only hypothesis, nor so certain as mathematical demonstrations.
Wait, what does he mean by he cannot think that's the only hypothesis? Like, literally, Newton is telling him another one, and he's not accepting it.
Yeah. So he's essentially, while he agrees with Newton's ideas, he doesn't believe it to be the only testable hypothesis out there, and should not be considered true, which is fair, as it would have been early on in the testing phase. And there were other tests that, in his mind, disproved Newton. So, he was saying, like, mathematically, we can't really prove that, because, like, we have all these other ones that are, showing up all these other angles, or...
Yeah,
so... But he was fucking wrong. Like, Newton can mathematically prove it, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Newton's mad good with numbers. But Hooke continues on saying...
But grants his first proposition, that light is a body, and that as many colored as degrees thereof there may be, and so many sorts of bodies there may be, all which compounded together would make white. And grant further that all luminous bodies are compounded of such substances, condensed, and whilst they shine, they do continually send out an indefinite quantity thereof. Every way in the universe granting these, you're fucking wrong, Newton. I just fucking hate you. You came in here and you're just trying to prove shit, and I fucking hate you. That's what you need to know, okay?
That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's like...
He's like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm smarter than you, and I can't have any upstart little shit like you come in here and try to dethrone me, because I'm the king of smartness. So fuck you.
What an ego.
If in the same manner as Descartes explicates the reason of the refraction, but I see no necessity of it if Mr. Newton hath any argument that he supposes an absolute demonstration of his theory, I should be very glad to be convinced by it, the phenomena of light and colours being, in my opinion, as well worthy of contemplation as anything else in this world.
So he's like, we should be contemplating it and talking about it. And go ahead, Newton, you can, go ahead and argue with me if you want. But
you're wrong, and
you're
please
wrong.
accept that.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's more like, fucking accept that, Newton. That you're wrong.
Yeah, so I went ahead and just, translated these ones just to modern English. So, November 1679, Newton's response to Hooke. Shortly after Hooke's response, Newton sent his own lengthy response that I have taken the liberty of translating into English for us. Sir, or should I say, Sir Dumbfuck, should you have taken the time to actually read my findings, you would have realized how wrong you were, Sir Dumbfuck. First of all, I stated why those theories worked in conjunction with mine, you stupid bitch. Second off, you keep bringing up strings on instruments like it fucking matters when we are talking about light, for God's sakes. So next time you think about critiquing my shit, I'd recommend talking to Tiny Tim at the King's School, and he will tell you why exactly you do not fuck with Isaac Newton.
Oh shit.
I added that last bit, that he didn't even refer to anything about kicking his ass or
damn,
breaking him like
so
he broke Tiny Tim.
Damn, Newton's going hard.
Yeah, no, so I say this is a very condensed, not very accurate version of his letter. He did come off as upset in his approach, however, and
can you blame him though?
No, I cannot.
Freaking Hooke basically threw away his letters and was didn't even regard anything that he said.
Yeah, no, so Newton essentially comes here, I can show you, but Newton comes in here, he's like, so you want the math? Here's the fucking math. So,
burn, mic drop for Newton.
No, and he invents more math.
I don't know why Hooke is arguing with this guy.
Right? He's too smart to argue with.
Yeah.
I guess they're both very smart, but Newton, I'd say, is a little more intelligent. So
he is several steps above Hooke.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because he can prove everything with math. Yeah, he can actually write down a formula that's testable, and then you can, other people can try it out and see if the numbers line up.
Yeah.
So. But at the same time, Newton is the one that invented it, so it's of course some of them are gonna just conveniently line up.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but anyways, he ends up pulling apart all of Hooke's words and is like, hey, so I proved this wrong here. This is how I can prove this wrong. This is what I do. Showing how he meticulously approached responding back to Hooke. Hooke ends up being the next one to reply. Oh, Hooke was not the next one to reply. In fact, it was another one of his contemporaries from Paris, Christian Huygens, whom we mentioned earlier, was very much accepting of the wave theory of light. He essentially continued to beat down on Newton and said his ideas were an insult to his own and discounted the tests he already made.
Freaking damn.
So Newton had like 2 people beating the shit out of him intellectually. After which, Newton quite literally stopped presenting to the Royal Society for 10 years. Yeah, after all this, Newton was like, I'm fucking done with you guys. I'm not gonna like present any of my findings.
That must have been so devastating for them, though. Like, Newton was like, you know what? Peace out.
Yeah, not really, because they were all pretty smart, so... but during this 10 years, while Newton's giving them the silent treatment, Newton would work on his book Principia and come up with a law of universal gravitation, as well as a host of other laws that we still use today, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Of these, Robert Hooke would continually claim that Newton needed to credit him for his work from the letters he had sent Newton regarding the law of gravitation and his thoughts on how it all worked, essentially sending something that went like this. So Hooke sent Newton some letters on his observation. Even though they were pissed at each other, they still like talked to each other, which is pretty useful, to be honest, because without without that discourse, we wouldn't have a lot of the findings that we now have.
Yeah.
Anyways, Hooke says,
Tiny Dick Newton, you ever thought about how everything moves in a straight line till deflected by some force, and that force is stronger for things closer together? Like how my hand will travel in a straight line until it makes contact with your bitch-ass face. And the closer my hand gets to your face, the larger the amount of force will be felt. Not only that, but if I twist my hips and apply a centrifugal motion to the movement of my body, the resulting impact would knock your little bitch-ass brain the fuck out. And come by my office sometime so I can test out my hypothesis.
I would pay to see that.
Right?
I would pay, like 100% pay to see that.
Dude, Newton Hooke boxing match?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so good. Oh, it'd be so good.
Yeah.
No, he essentially, again, not these exact words, but he did point out some ideas that may have helped Newton mathematically solve his equation for the universal law of gravitation. Meanwhile, Newton was adamant that Hooke had not in fact helped him at all, which to be fair is true, as Newton did have to prove his ideas through math, and Hooke merely just stated something that he was observing. So Hooke was just like, yeah, so like if you move in a straight line, the object's going to keep moving until it's acted upon by an opposing force.
Dang, if Newton really wanted to, he could have stole that and created something.
He tried to. Well, I wouldn't say like he stole it, but he's like, hey, I got this math formula that I've worked out. And then Hooke was like, yo, but like I said this though. Yeah, you said something you observed. Like you didn't
actually do it.
You didn't like help with the math. I had to do the math on my fucking self, Hooke.
Well, Hooke's like, well, I don't know math.
Yeah.
What math?
Yeah. What does number what?
Why is R in 32?
Yeah, what? And that was Hooke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, while Hooke was slowly going into obscurity, Newton's popularity was on the rise. His book, Principia, published in 1687, would become the best-selling science book of all times.
Whoa.
Yeah, Book 3 of Principia was almost not published because Newton was still furious with Hooke, but instead he decided to remove all references of Hooke's name in the book before publishing it. So his third edition of it, so Principia 3,
damn.
he just takes Hooke's name out of it because he was dead.
Do you think Hooke knew?
No, Hooke's dead by the time the third one comes out, but yeah. It's... Oh man, Newton really tries to fucking just erase him.
Damn, like he anchored Newton so much that he's like, you know what? He's gonna be dead soon, and no one will remember him.
Well, remember how his bully at King's School essentially pushed him to become like the best academically at King's School? Same fucking thing here.
Yeah, like Hooke just pushed him to be like the ultimate scientist.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So this rivalry, while hilarious, also great for mankind.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, so March 3rd, 1703, Robert Hooke dies. Robert Hooke would go into further obscurity after his death in 1703, never restoring a friendly relationship between the two of them. He died 24 years before Newton, and in the same year, Newton would become president of the Royal Society.
What a win for him.
Right. So,
what a win.
As Hooke dies, Newton takes over the presidency of the Royal Society.
Wow.
During Newton's presidency, the only known portrait of Hooke was mysteriously destroyed. Many believe that Newton simply removed it from the wall of the Royal Society and tossed it into the fire while drinking a glass of wine near the fireplace. Oddly specific.
What a vibe.
Oddly specific way for that painting to have been mysteriously destroyed. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. He took it down, just tossed it to the fucking fire. He was like, don't tell anyone.
While he's drinking a glass of wine.
Yeah, he's like, I fucking hated this man.
Honestly, though, what a vibe. He legit, like, celebrated his winning. Because he basically just won. Yeah. According to their rivalry.
Kind of, yeah. It's, you know, in, like, Death Note, how, like, L and Light have that rivalry? And, like, even though, like, even though Light wins, L still kind of won because he did figure it out.
Yeah.
So kind of like
it's
that.
Like, yeah, it's like the same thing.
Yeah. It's
but, like, if you imagine it, like, for him, that must have been, like, goddamn, a glorious moment for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's just sipping his glass of wine, and he's like, finally, Chuck's picture in fire.
You're dead. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it was... I'm sure it was great. But in the end, because of Newton's short temper, he would end up having feuds with other contemporaries as well.
Wow.
Here's where we start getting into Newton's crazy years. I'm so excited.
Wait, didn't we, like, think that Newton was gay?
Yes.
What if his whole rivalry between Hooke and Newton is because Hooke didn't want to date Newton?
You know, that'd be an interesting concept, and I feel like that'd be a good BBC drama. But
oh, God.
Or maybe, like, Hooke and Newton did hook up.
Yeah, they hook up. What if they did hook up and, like, Hooke cheated or something?
Yeah.
That's what became their rivalry. But they couldn't really say anything about it because
like, in their letters, they're like, no, this is... The whole time they're talking about, like, he's actually really talking about, like, Greg. Greg has an oblong dick and you don't.
Yeah, that would be funny.
So good. But yeah, so some of these contemporaries included Christian Huygens, John Flamsteed, and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. It would be about 200 years later before any more information about Hooke would come to light from his personal diary. The book revealed that he had a tendency to pick fights with other scientists. Despite his shortcomings, Robert Hooke did regain credit for his work, especially in biology with the discovery of cells. Motherfucker did discover cells, so...
That's insane.
But yeah, this is primarily because Newton went out of his way to discredit Hooke and tried to remove his name from anything he could. Essentially because Newton lived a little longer, he got the last laugh for about 200 years, and then Hooke's work was rediscovered and his contributions fully recognized. Still, credit needs to be given to Newton here. This man erased a lifetime of work of another man who was just as respected as he was at some points in their lifetimes, and no one questioned him.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's fucking... Could you imagine just being so intelligent and everyone knows you are so far above them?
Dude, he could get away with murder.
He may have.
Honestly, though, he may have gotten away with murder.
He might have. So, and then, again, so March 20th, 1727, this is when Sir Isaac Newton will die. So after spending some time reforming the British coinage and potentially having an affair with the wife of someone 20 years his junior, Newton began to settle down and go fucking brat shit crazy. I mean, truly insane. So here's some examples right before his death. Number 1, he unwittingly poisoned himself with heavy metals.
The fuck does that mean?
In the late 17th century, Isaac Newton began experimenting with alchemy. This motherfucker was like, dude, I'm going to try to turn lead into gold.
He was so done with everything. He's like, I'm going to make myself some gold.
Yes.
What the? Okay.
Newton left roughly 10 million words behind in his notes, letters, and published works, with about 10% or 1 billion words dedicated to the subject of alchemy. He spent 1/10 of his lifetime studying this pursuit, which, while, yes, it helped with science, it's really just rooted in science fiction.
What the hell?
Yeah. One of the practices of alchemy was the attempted transmutation of metals into gold and silver. Newton's notes reveal, though, often in a code which he developed to protect his secrets, because he had to be secretive. Because he didn't want any of this shit getting out and having his work stolen.
Yeah.
He experimented with numerous heavy metals, beginning around 1692. Shortly before entering into the period of his mental health issues, among these metals were mercury and lead.
Oh my god.
Yep. Isaac Newton's body, through examination of his hair following exhumation, revealed dangerous levels of mercury, lead, and other toxic metals. His notes on the study of various heavy metals also included observations regarding their smell and taste.
So he legit tasted that stuff. He did every experiment
indicating he ingested them orally. Yeah, it was shortly after beginning his alchemy experience that Newton exhibited symptoms of mental illness, which he reported to colleagues in letters, and which were observed by others. His symptoms included insomnia, paranoia, chronic indigestion, and depression, which they...
Wow, that sounds like it's from the heavy metals.
Most of the depression's probably from his childhood, to be honest.
Yeah, he probably like caught up.
He was probably just like fighting that for a while.
And then all of a sudden it hit him like a truck.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Honestly, so... whether they were caused by his experimentation with heavy metals or exacerbated by them is subject to speculation. So people think that he may have had minor version of these, and then just the interactions with heavy metals really made them prominent.
Worse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So he also may have been searching for the Philosopher's Stone. So
what?
I know, right? So Full Metal Alchemist fans, you guys know what this is.
Yeah.
During Newton's lifetime, he devoted decades to alchemy, known in his day in England as chemistry. So chymistry. Chemistry. Chemistry. It sounds like some fucking redneck shit.
Could you imagine if you're trying to talk to him about it, and you're like, "Oh, so how's that chemistry going?" He goes,
"You mean chemistry?" Just fucking laugh in Newton's face, and he's like, "What? You dumbass?"
Yeah.
Much of which was illegal at the time, by the way. So all this shit was secret. He had to keep it secret. This is really where the Breaking Bad shit kind of happens.
Okay.
Considered to be heretical, alchemists sought a material known among them as the Philosopher's Stone, a mythical substance believed to be capable of transmuting metals into gold and silver, and to give its possessor eternal life.
Oh my gosh, he really went crazy. He wanted to live forever.
He did. He was trying to. As well as acting to restore youth and vitality, alchemists referred to the search for the Philosopher's Stone as the magnum opus, Latin for great work. Because it was heretical and in some respects illegal, alchemists used various linguistic tricks in communicating with each other, including puns and other wordplays, as well as outright code, Newton among them. I imagine he wrote some fucking puns like, haha, LOL, looking for not the Philosopher's Stone. I don't know.
LOL, looking for the stone that looks like Philosopher's Stone, but is not.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Philosizer's Stone.
What?
They probably came up with really good puns. I
mean, they were 50 times smarter, so I'm sure they had some really good ones.
In the Patreon, I will have an episode where I just dedicate myself to finding alchemist puns that they used back then.
I would want to know that though.
Yes.
That would be dope.
Okay, so if you want to hear that, next Patreon episode after the Reddit one, because I haven't been able to record that yet, the one after that will be me dedicating finding these puns. Okay. They
have to be out there. There's no way that they're not.
Oh, I actually have already found a few, but
damn.
Yeah, so I will be recording that. Yeah, it's gonna be great. All right, so during Newton's lifetime, the distinction between science and superstition was vague, and literal interpretation of the Christian Bible was the dominant worldview. As part of his occult studies and alchemy experiments, Newton, besieged by deteriorating mental health, spent much of his time poring over the Book of Revelation, and believed that it contained clues, which would lead him to discoveries which were the goal of the magnum opus. He literally thought the Book of Revelations from John was going to show him where the Philosopher's Stone was.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Should we go back and see if it's real? I'm just kidding.
Get the Bible. We have the Holy Bible right there.
Go get the Bible and be like,
fuck, where is it? He was right. He did not publish his works on alchemy during his lifetime, and though some believe that much of his work was destroyed in a fire accidentally started by his dog, the story is probably apocryphal, but wouldn't that be so funny if his dog was like, he went crazy, we can't let the world know. And just like, it's a dog just standing on its hind legs trying to
like
light a
starting
match.
a fire?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if freaking Newton made, like with alchemy, made something to make his dog smart?
Probably did. The dog
And
obviously started that fire.
Then he realized how fucked up it was, and he's like, no, I can't do that.
It might,
we can't do that to the freaking world.
My best friend who just died, I can't, no.
How wild would that be?
It'd be so crazy. Most of her work gets published in 1936 and was later published online. So then we get to the delusions of grandeur that Newton suffered. During his extensive studies on the Bible, and concurrent with his work in alchemy, which he believed required secrets extracted from the Bible in order to succeed, Newton kept notes in which he designated himself. Need to get back. Gotta get back, Samurai Jack. Which he believed. Newton kept notes in which he designated himself to have been selected by God to reveal the secrets of his mysteries to the world. So, he was personally selected. He was one step away from creating a Newton cult. Newton came to believe that the worship of Jesus as divine was heretical.
Wait, you said a Newton cult? Wait, can we back up the sentence?
He believed himself to be chosen from God, so essentially a prophet of a cult. If he would have just told people that, I'm positive he would have had a cult.
Wild would that be?
There'd be a Newton fucking religion to this day. I guarantee that. And he would be the god of it. People would pray to Newton.
Oh god, I slightly want that to be real.
Right?
Slightly
that would have been so
want
cool.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to imagine how fucked up it would be though.
Oh, it'd be so fucked up. It'd be alchemy experience. It'd be a little satanic to me.
Could you imagine if instead of the sacrament, it was freaking mercury and lead?
As you drink it, it shall be transmuted into gold through your bodies, as it was our Lord and Savior Newton.
Oh god.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That would be fucking wild.
That cult, most of its members would die very young, but it would be so funny. It'd be so fun.
That's better than the KKK.
Yeah, honestly, though, yeah. I mean, anything's better than them. They're awful.
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, no. Anyways, so he's thinking the worship of Jesus is heretical, so he's like, Jesus wasn't divine, he was just chosen, like me. Though he did not publish his beliefs in his lifetime, because that would fucking got him beheaded. like that.
Wait, so he thought that he was the next chosen one, so God was now irrelevant, and he was the next chosen one?
Okay, so he considered Jesus to have been a man who, like himself, had been chosen to reveal certain truths, but was subservient to God. Thus, Newton rejected the idea of the Trinity. So
Damn.
Newton doesn't believe that Jesus essentially became God after his resurrection.
Yeah.
He was like, no, he was just a man, and he fucking died on the cross and didn't resurrect.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Newton's self-appointed status as messenger chosen to reveal God's secrets was what drove him to examine the Bible, including the geometric dimensions of the temple, which he found to have been code for the dimensions of the earth and the heavens.
Wait, thinking back to it, because I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if this was a documentary or something I read, but I can't remember when the Bible was actually changed, but I'm pretty sure around Newton's time it was different than what we have it now.
So the Bible has been changed multiple times. The Nicene Council is when it got changed, the first time. Really changed. The Romans were essentially hey, we like this, we don't like this, change this, then make it a pope do this.
Yeah.
And then the Nicene Council reconvened this again a second time, changed more shit to, make peasants more dumb.
So wasn't it different for Newton than it was for us, technically?
It was very different. Very, very, very different.
I'm curious to know how different it was, and read it to see how he thought that was the case. If that makes sense.
I could probably find an older version of the Bible and send it to you, but
it probably had to be more convincing.
On my mission, there's a couple different versions that I read. So there's one where before, like, the King James version is the one that gets used the most, but it's mostly because of like how you translate the ancient Hebrew into English or into other languages, and so a lot of stuff gets mistranslated because a lot of words you have to like infer for.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, because they don't have like connective statements, and so you'll have to add those in, and sometimes that can really fuck things up in the Bible, and that's...
So it's like different, but not necessarily different.
Yes. Newton's personality was such that he avoided even casual conversation with most people other than those who demonstrated marked respect for him, to whom he was often condescending. So even people that were like, hey man, you are like super smart and like I really respect you, he was still kind of a dick to.
What an ass.
Kind of like Hooke.
Yeah.
I feel like he takes on Hooke's personality almost. He's
so upset at the fact that he died. He takes on his personality.
Yeah, because he's like, no one else can really.
Dang.
Yeah. While a fellow at Trinity College, a position which required ordination as a priest of the Anglican Church, Newton avoided the requirement by arguing that the mathematics chair should be free from the distractions of church duties in order to concentrate on science, and was granted a dispensation by the king. So that, again, Charles II is the one who granted him that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like, hey, we should just be free to think. And the king was like, yeah, sure, why not?
He's like, you're a man, I believe you, sure.
Yes. Alright, and then this last bit, Newton ends up prosecuting counterfeiters relentlessly. Newton is remembered primarily as a scientist and mathematician today, with an emerging reputation as a biblical scholar. But for more than half of his adult life, he was a government functionary, as first warden and later as master of the royal mint.
Damn.
Yeah, he gets elected to some like high up positions.
He's like this crazy man, and people are like, you know what, Newton?
Run our money.
You're the man.
Yeah. Be in charge of the money, please. So.
Oh my god.
The positions were obtained for him as sinecures as a source of income. So it's just a way to make more money and to kind of like fund some of his adventures.
Yeah,
especially with the alchemy shit, because that's probably expensive to eat, that much mercury. But
he has to supply himself with enough money for him to continue that.
His addiction, yeah.
Addiction of
his strange
mercury.
addiction. Dude, strange addiction episode with Newton eating.
Mercury and lead.
Oh, it'd be so good.
I'd watch that.
Right? TV execs, come on. Great
Step
ideas.
up your game.
Yeah, exactly. Newton waited some time for the appointment, at one point claiming that Charles Montague, responsible for the appointment, bore a grudge against him. When Montague became Chancellor of the Exchequer, he made the appointment noting that the duties were less than onerous and should not require much of Newton's time away from his scientific work. Newton threw himself into the role, investigating, counterfeiting, and the clipping of coins with enthusiasm, even disguising himself in taverns to uproot counterfeiters.
What?
Yeah, he would put on disguises to find out. He did
what dedication?
Sherlock Holmes detective work shit to figure out who was trying to counterfeit coin.
That's the OG Sherlock Holmes is Newton.
Honestly, though.
Wow, Newton's so many things.
He does so much.
No, he's freaking Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. He's
Sherlock Holmes. He's the brother of Jesus.
Yeah, chosen of God, leader of all, our savior. No, just kidding. One such counterfeiter was convinced by Newton, and after his high-ranking friend succeeded in gaining his release from prison, Newton prosecuted him a second time.
Wow.
Yeah, so he found the counterfeiter, and this counterfeiter had some high-class friends who got him out of prison. Newton went ahead and just got him a second time again. He was like, no, you're gonna stay in jail.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Another dedication thing.
So crazy. The evidence which Newton presented and the vigor of his prosecution led to the counterfeiter being convicted and sentenced to death by hanging.
What?
I'm not making this up. After which he was taken down, still alive, and drawn and quartered.
Could you imagine?
Newton got him to be hung, and then afterwards was like, nah, that's not enough. We gotta make an example of this motherfucker. And they draw and quarter him. So they rip him open, and then have horses tug at each of his limbs and rip him into fourths.
Could you imagine if that was the punishment for counterfeit today?
No one would even try. I'd be scared. I'm like already scared to go to prison. I'd be more scared.
I would be scared that I would accidentally get a counterfeit.
Right?
Could you imagine that? Do you know how many people would sabotage you?
Yeah, no, it'd be wild. It'd be a little ridiculous. But Newton's deal does end up leading to 28 convictions and executions for counterfeiting. So he gets 28 people to die for counterfeiting, and he was pursued with pious glee. Apparently he was happy while these people were getting sentenced to death for making fake money.
He legit went crazy.
Yeah.
Mercury legit made him insane.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I'm finding all the troublemakers, I'm going to make them pay. I'm certain he got a German accent, even though he's British.
Wow, he was wasting his time on counterfeits, though. Do you know how much better he could have done with other things?
He probably could have found the Philosopher's Stone, to be honest.
Yeah, he wasted his time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Come on, you were chosen of God.
What are you doing? You wasted your time.
You could have made a cult. You could have made a new religion. Yeah, but that is, that takes us out of our timeline here. Newton dies in his sleep in London on March 20th, 1727. He was given a ceremonial funeral attended by nobles, scientists, and philosophers, and was buried in Westminster Abbey among kings and queens.
Whoa.
Yep.
Well, now he really thinks he's a god.
Well, I mean he's dead, but yeah, his spirit was
He's like,
yep.
Yep, that's where I should be.
Yep.
Oh my god.
He's the first scientist to be buried in the Abbey. Voltaire may have been present at his funeral as well. Voltaire's another very famous scientist. Bachelor. He divested much of his estate to relatives during his last years and died intestate. His papers went to John Conduit and Catherine Barton. After his death, Newton's hair was examined and found to contain mercury, probably from his alchemical pursuits in mercury poisoning. And his niece and his John, essentially, were the ones who divided everything amongst the family. So,
wow, they must have been hella rich.
Very rich, very rich. And that takes us into our review time. Hey, sit the fuck back down. It's time for a review. Alright, we're into the review part. So, thoughts and takeaways from everything. What are like your main... What's your main takeaway from everything you learned about Newton and Hooke?
He's a lot smarter than what I thought.
Really?
I didn't realize how much of a genius he was. Like, I knew, like, Newton, like, created stuff and was, he was a scientist and he was all-knowing scientist, but I thought they blew it out of proportion.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So that I thought that people thought that he was way smarter than what he actually was. I didn't realize how much of a genius he was.
Yes. No, this man... Yeah, I feel like they underplay it at school, honestly. Like,
no, but for real, though.
Yeah, they just, like... I mean, to be honest, the information I presented... was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm sure you could do like a whole semester on Newton.
Yeah. He did so much stuff.
Yeah. And Hooke, obviously I didn't even realize he existed.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if Hooke and Newton got along, they would probably be brothers.
Yeah, no, they'd be like
They could have
real
created
homies.
a cult together.
100%. I mean, with Hooke's, his time with Dr. Willis.
Yeah.
And after his fiance gets killed. No, I agree with you. I definitely think that Newton was unrepresented, and same with Hooke. They both didn't get enough representation for everything that they did. I do feel like this conflict was needed. I don't think it was like just a dig contest between. Well, it was a dig contest, but it was like a necessary dig contest because Newton without Hooke pushing him, I don't think would have like felt the need to prove himself as much.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm still on Newton's side though. I do still feel like Hooke started it.
Yes.
Like if Hooke wasn't such a dick in the beginning, I feel like it would have been less worse than what it actually was.
Yes, no, I agree.
Hooke, like, legit drawing the first knife and stabbing him was, like, it for Newton to just go ham.
Well, especially with, like, the telescope. Remember that first part where he's like, yeah, so I did it.
Yeah, he's like, joke's on you. I created that first. Suck it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I definitely think Hooke was the instigator. I do think Newton takes it a little far, and he does go fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Freaking Hooke stabs him once, but Newton stabs him like 37 times.
yes.
Like,
He's like, oh, you think you're gonna stab me once? Die, motherfucker!
yeah, exactly. He went ham.
Well, in some of the letters too, you know that scene in American Psycho where he's describing the card and like how they got Paul Allen's card is like just so different, but like he thinks it's so better than his.
Yeah.
Even though it looks the exact fucking same.
Yeah.
Some of the letters really come off that way with like Hooke
No,
just
but
being
for
so
real.
meticulous. Like,
Well, Hooke didn't even read most of freaking Newton's letters too.
yep.
And I feel like that was part of the problem is like Newton knew that Hooke didn't read those letters
And didn't care to.
and didn't care to, and I think that would just piss Newton off more.
Yeah, I believe it.
To
I believe
lead
so
to,
as well.
Yeah, like, man, that rivalry.
It's crazy, and like, you know, when I was first coming up with this idea, I first almost didn't want to do this until like I started like reading into it more, and I was like, oh, that is juicy.
That is some juicy stuff
This is
right
some
there.
juicy shit that Newton and Hooke did.
Yeah.
So, no, I think in the end necessary, but they could have accomplished more had they resolved the quarrel after their first initial couple of battles.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. I'm sure if they like resolved it after the first couple battles, they could have gotten so much more done
Yeah.
to lead us further in
No.
civilization.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, no, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for listening. Again, please continue to send some reviews. Let us know what we can do better. We'll be upgrading the audio equipment pretty soon here, so hopefully it doesn't sound like this anymore. But yeah, it was fun. Next week, we're going to be going over the War of the Roses, which inspired Game of Thrones. Three houses all vying for a throne.
That's dope.
They do some pretty shitty things to each other. I'm really excited to talk about it. It's definitely Game of Thronesy.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, Haley, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Hopefully, one day in the future, we can do this again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Feel free to whatever. I'll send you the list. Any episodes you want to join in on?
We'll let the listeners see if I should be here again.
All right. Yeah. Let us know, guys. Let us know like. Who have you liked so far between Haley and Kelton?
Yeah, who do you like? Which one do you like best?
Which one do you like more?
My husband or me?
Yeah. Haley's like, say me.
No,
Do it.
I'm actually curious on what the votes will be.
I am too. I'm sure.
I won't be hurt if you guys choose Kelton.
I don't know because
But
like
I am curious. I do want to know.
the reception so far seems to have been the same between the two episodes. So
Well, I mean, we're very similar people, so it might be hard.
yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I feel like that, but yeah, let us know, listeners.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next quarrel. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good job, students. Proud of you. I had fun and I hope you did too. I'll see you for the next class.